What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman, the third of GBP Daily, and thank you for tuning in to the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over the social sphere at GBP Daily. Shoot me a follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit me up in the DMs. I am always available to talk Packers anytime, any day. Today is Monday, December 15th, a tough Monday for us Packers fans. Not a victory Monday, of course. The Packers falling to the Broncos 34-26. And as we all are aware of, the loss of Micah Parsons is a lot worse than the loss to the Broncos. The Micah Parsons is done for the year after tearing his ACL. That was confirmed today. And Micah Parsons posted a message on social media saying maybe he'll be back hopefully by September, kind of setting that mark for himself. Realistically, probably won't be back until October-ish, if I had to guess, but hopefully I am wrong. No words to describe this one. Just a brutal, heartbreaking situation that is an absolute killer to our team this year. He was the best player on the squad by a wide margin. Definitely the best player by a wide margin on the defense. The excitement around him all year has been just awesome. And just like that, he is done. He was on pace for 16, 17 sacks this year. Was playing at an all-pro level. He still might get an all-pro bid. We shall see. And boom, it all comes crashing down to a quick and fast halt. And he is done not only for this year, but most likely for the start of next season as well. No words to describe this one. Just absolutely brutal. Christian Watson, thankfully, is day to day after leaving the stadium in an ambulance. Evan Williams, who went down, may possibly miss 1 to 2 weeks per Bill Huber. And yeah, injuries just piled up in yesterday's game. Zach Tom has no structural damage in his knee that he injured yesterday. Guys were dropping like flies. Quay Walker went down and thankfully returned. It was just a rough game, right? I was screaming, throw in the towel after those things were happening. And yeah, at one point we were up by 9 points in the third quarter. Then Jordan throws the interception. Broncos are driving. Xavier McKinney drops the pick. Then the Micah injury happens, and then the Broncos score. And from then on, it was all Broncos. We had a few shots at the end of the game to tie it up when we were down by 8, but our offensive line was getting tossed around like rag dolls and leaving Jordan absolutely no time to throw on any of his dropbacks. And yeah, we couldn't get it done. So Packers sitting at 9-4-1, and we've got 3 games left in Chicago this weekend. At home against the Ravens in Week 17, and at Minnesota to cap off the regular season against the Vikings. Anybody thinking of going to a game this year? Maybe you're thinking of going to Soldier Field, watching this team maybe get a little resurgence. Maybe watching this team clinch the NFC North. Maybe you're thinking of going to the Ravens game in 2 weeks like I am. Maybe you want to see the season finale, regular season finale in Minnesota. If you are, do not buy your tickets anywhere else other than TickPick. They guarantee the cheapest Packers tickets on the market. And if you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, they will refund you 110% of your money back. Same tickets as everybody else, StubHub, SeatGeek, Ticketmaster, all those guys. And TickPick is the cheapest every single time. Use the code PACKERS22 for an extra $22 off the already cheapest tickets on the market. Shout out to TickPick. They are the best in the biz. What do we got going on in the comment section? I'm seeing a little bit of everything, right? Little optimism, little skepticism with the 3 games remaining. Like I said earlier, in Chicago this weekend at Soldier Field with a chance to maybe clinch the division. And then the Ravens game at Lambeau Field, the final home game of the year in Week 17, and then capping off the regular season in Minnesota in Week 18, which might look like a little bit of a tougher game than what we would have thought a few weeks back. If you want to be a part of the show, give me a call. The Nicolet Law hotline, 319-242-2332. Family owned and operated since 2007 with decades of combined legal experience. Nicolet Law's team of compassionate local attorneys are prepared to meet your unique legal challenges head on. Nicolet Law is just shy of 2,000 5-star reviews, and they have helped their clients recover over $350 million in the last 17 years that they have been in business. Injured, get Nicolet. What's the vibe? What do we got cooking up? My man Riley in the house, losing Micah and Tucker for the year. I don't think it's overcomable. Yeah, Riley, I understand the thought behind that, right? I've said it many times this year. The guys that we could not afford to lose if we wanted to make a run at a title are Jordan, Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft, and Micah Parsons. And unfortunately, we have lost 2 of those guys so far. We still got 3 games left. I will say the door isn't completely shut on our Super Bowl hopes, but the door, I would say, is opened by just a crack. A lot of things need to start to click, specifically starting with the offensive line, and they just need to block better. They've been getting tossed around like rag dolls week in and week out. The injuries don't help. And then on the back end, with our corners getting absolutely toasted, especially yesterday. Even when Micah was in there, we were getting destroyed on the comeback routes, the deep routes, everything. We were giving up big plays. We have not done that for the majority of the year, and yesterday it was happening time and time again. And then these special teams blunders, they have to stop. I mean, game in and game out, there's penalties, there's kicks out of bounds, there's bad punts in the end zone. There's just Rich Bisaccia was shown on the sideline yesterday, bending over in frustration. And for being the highest paid special teams coordinator in the league, the product that our special teams trots out every single week is not good, not up to par. Those 3 things to start need to improve. And yeah, next up, we need to win the division. We got to get a home playoff game. A 3-game road trip against the NFC's best is not the recipe for success for our squad. But you know me. I'm always going to remain hopeful until the door is all the way closed. And it isn't just yet. A lot of football yet to be played. So we shall see how the season caps off. And hopefully it's a little bit longer than the 3 games we have left on our schedule. Thank you, Riley, for hopping in. Appreciate you as always. What else we got? My man Mitch in the house. Big game tonight, my brother. Dolphins, Steelers, our old boy A-Rod's thinking he can still sling it around. Not tonight, though. Fins up, baby. Rakeem, my man. What's up, Rob? After yesterday's game, I'm a little shook up, but I'm not going to say anything negative. All I'll say is it's step up or go home at this point. Rakeem, I think you've got a little more self-control than a lot of the comments that I've been seeing so far. And I understand it, right? Yesterday was just a brutal, swift kick in the groin, to say the least, right? We were in control of that game, up by 9 points against the AFC number 1 seed. Some say the best team in the league, sitting at 11-2. And we went for the kill with a deep shot to Christian Watson, and everything changed, obviously, at that point in time. And yeah, we don't score any more points the rest of the game. So our defense, though, I will say, giving up 34, I don't care who it is to, is inexcusable. We just, ever since Micah went down, ever since Christian Watson went down, the air was just sucked out of our team. And you could see it out there for sure. And then Zach Tom going down, the offensive line was in shambles, and Jordan had no time to throw. It was just a disaster across all fronts, and just a brutal. It's so bad that it's laughable. Whatever went wrong yesterday. So a tough day to be a Packers fan. I would say probably one of the toughest days as a Packer fan since any of the heartbreaking playoff losses, right? NFC Championship game in 2014, The Buccaneers NFC Championship game a week or so after David Bakhtiari tore his ACL in practice. Just absolutely brutal across all fronts. But Rakeem, speaking with a level head, I appreciate that. And I think we all might need a little reminder to do so ourselves, including myself. So thank you, Rakeem. Appreciate you. Lauren, thoughts on throwing a bomb against the best corner in football? I thought it was an interesting decision, right? But I do love going for the kill at that point in the game. Got to keep our foot on the gas, and we did. Just so happened that Jordan had pressure in his face on the throw. It was a little underthrown. Christian Watson, I don't think expected Surtain to close in that fast. Otherwise, he probably would have fought back for the ball. I mean, he was sprinting, and I don't think there was really much room for him to fight back for it. And yeah, Surtain just made a great play on the ball, and that's about all she wrote. So sometimes you just got to tip your cap. And he was the defensive player of the year for a reason last year. So an unfortunate turn of events. We were this close from just turning that game upside down. Could have went up 16 in the second half, and instead we gave up, 10, 12, 14 unanswered points. Just tough, right? Just tough all around. Thank you, Lauren. Ryan, is the season over? Ryan, of course not. We've got a guaranteed 3 games left, and most likely more than that if we make the playoffs, which right now our chances are still pretty good, up in the 90% range. So now how that happens is to be determined, right? Will it be by winning the division? Will it be by sneaking in as a wild card? We shall see, but it is definitely not over. It just became a little bit harder to reach the goals that the team set for themselves. So we need guys like LVN and Rashawn Gary to step up. LVN is healthy finally after dealing with that foot injury for the past few months. And Rashawn Gary, who had a decent game yesterday, I will say, needs to play like I think he can. And that is a lot better than how he's played over the last couple months. So need those guys to step up. Christian Watson is day-to-day. We'll see if he's able to play this weekend. Evan Williams would be a massive loss. Could be potentially out for 1 to 2 weeks. We shall see as the week goes on. But the season is not over. So we still had Super Bowl hopes before, Micah, right? I think we're back to our expectations before that trade went down. And then you got to take away Tucker Kraft. You got to take away the thought of our back end being as good as what we maybe would have thought it would be. Xavier McKinney with a tough dropped interception yesterday. That was just brutal. In his hands, he's made that same play time and time again. And shortly after Micah tears his ACL, things go downhill. And yeah, did not look too hot. So Ryan, to answer your question, the season is not over. Of course, we got 3 games and hopefully more to play yet this year. So appreciate you as always, Ryan. What else we got, my man Phil in the house? Phil, you just getting off work, my man? Game ball, ? McManus, thank you. Yeah, McManus was money yesterday. One of the few bright spots out of the game yesterday as he was hitting everything that he was lining up for. So shout out to Brandon McManus. Hopefully has pushed those little hiccups aside and is healthy. And boom, just, yeah, love it. So what else we got? My man, BB in the house. Sup, pal? Thanks for the Rodgers jersey. Quick and easy purchase. My man, I appreciate you. I talked about it earlier. Somebody had asked why I was getting rid of some of my jerseys. I went on a spell a few years ago where I just bought way too many. And I ended up not wearing, and I think the Black Rodgers one, I don't think I ever wore. I wasn't wearing half of them. I had just too many. I mean, I'm looking over my closet right now. There's probably 40 plus in there. Who needs that many? I don't think anybody. So I figured it'd be better to put it in the hands of someone who would actually wear it, actually rock it. So my man BB in the house. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. What else we got? Trent. We still have Jacobs. Trent, that we do. I will say if our O-line can't block better, then I don't think it's going to matter very much. So And that goes for everything on defense, the run game, the pass game. If we can't block up front, which we weren't able to do in the second half yesterday, nothing is going to matter. You saw once Tom went down, the constant pressure that Jordan was facing. And outside of that 40-ish run by Josh, he was at like 10 or 11 carries for 30-some yards. So we were not running the ball well at all outside of that long run he broke off. So got to start blocking better up front than we did yesterday. And the Broncos, of course, they have one of the best defenses in the league. So a little bit of action forgiveness for sure, but we'll see on Saturday night against Chicago if we can improve on that. So what else we got? I know I missed a couple here. My man Nick in the house. Where'd your message go? There it is. The season is not over. We've got 3 left and hopefully more. Nick, I talked about it a little bit ago. In Chicago this weekend with a chance to hopefully clinch the division. If we win, then I think our chances skyrocket to like 90-some%. And I was talking about it earlier. We need a home game. Bad. We can't go on the road in the playoffs if we make it 3 straight times. That is just not a realistic route to success. So got to win the division, got to nab a home playoff game. That starts this weekend against Chicago on Saturday night, 7 o'clock, I believe. And then the following week against the Ravens at home, and then capping off the regular season against the Vikings in Minnesota, which they looked pretty good last night for the little bit that I did watch. So that will not be an easy task either. And Minnesota is always a tough place to play. So got to come with our A game, but it starts this weekend against Chicago. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you. Steve, Zadarius Smith talk? I don't think so. It was quite funny to see his post yesterday. Not even an hour after the Micah Parsons injury with the eyes emoji on Twitter. I think he probably got the hint with the flood of Packers fans and NFL fans in general saying, stay retired. He's burnt a couple bridges since he's been on Green Bay. Not only did he burn his bridge with the Packers, he went to the Browns, burnt that bridge, went to the Vikings, and somehow burnt that bridge even worse. And then capped it off with the Eagles, I believe, where he just kind of retired out of nowhere. So I don't think Zadarius will be back with the Pack and or in the NFL in general. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me today. Thank you again for tuning in. Always, always, always love talking Packers with you guys. Hit me up on social media at GBP Daily. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Any sort of interaction helps myself and helps the page. I will be back and at it again tomorrow. Enjoy your Monday, despite everything that's been going on the last 24 hours, right? Thank you again for tuning in, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you.